Right, so after my two videos yesterday about Paul Thorpe saying that there was some subliminal message in the Winston Marshall interview that Nigel Farage did about radical Islam and Islam itself and mass deportations, saying that he secretly wants to do it, but he can't really say. Well, this interview kind of puts that to bed, because this interview came first. The Winston Marshall interview was done in November. This interview here was done in September. So you could say that because of the pushback he got from this interview, he softened his approach towards that question in the late interview with Winston Marshall. So it's not really a subliminal message. It's just Nigel Farage doing party politics and just trying to skim around the question without actually saying what he said in this interview. Again, I'll play this and you can see what he actually said.
It's a political impossibility to deport hundreds of thousands of people. We simply can't do it. At the moment, it's a political impossibility.
But is it your ambition?
No. I'm not going to get dragged down the route of mass deportations or anything like that. I mean, people are always going to come and go, and we are a country that's engaged in international trade, and we have relationships around the world through the Commonwealth, etc. But yeah, we have to aim at a balanced migration policy.
But net zero still means hundreds of thousands of people coming into Britain, immigrants coming into Britain. Isn't that too many?
It may well be, but we have to start somewhere.
As Trump says in America that he wants mass deportations. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are in Britain at the moment. Some estimates say the number could even be in, 1 million plus. So do you support deporting all of those people?
It's impossible to do. Literally impossible to do.
In terms of the atmosphere in Britain, are you concerned that there is a rising level of anti-white hatred?
I'm just concerned about a deeply divided society. It's a political impossibility to deport hundreds of thousands of people. We simply can't do it.
So there's your answer. That's what he says. So there's no denying that Nigel Farage doesn't want to do mass deportations of illegal immigrants. It's just plain to see. There's no subliminal messages or anything like that. All we're seeing in the Winston Marshall interview is a softening approach to what he took in this interview, mainly because of the pushback he got from patriots and stuff, like saying that he was doing U-turns on mass deportation. So no subliminal messaging in that. So let's go on to some solutions because Nigel Farage is saying that it's a political impossibility and that it can't be done to mass deport lots of illegal immigrants. Well, it is possible. It is. First off, you start off with the prisons. You just deport everybody that is a jihadist in our prisons. You deport them. You revoke their citizenship. You kick them out of the country. You send them to the place of where they want to go, but you just say, you're not staying in this country. You have jihadist beliefs. You're not staying in this country. You deport everybody on the MI5 watch list, which is over 46,000 plus. You start to deplete the numbers of people that are influencing other people. You get rid of them. You just deport them. Get rid. You're gone. Simple as that. You close the borders. Stop all immigration to the country and just say, you're not getting in. If you come to this country and you try to claim asylum, but you've entered the country illegally, you just say, no, that's not the way you do things. You're not staying and you're not claiming asylum. Goodbye. That sends a clear message to anybody else trying to enter the country illegally that you will not be granted asylum. You have to come through official channels. That'll stop that. Solutions to the problems. All right, this is where we start. You ban halal meat. You ban the burqa. You get rid of the Muslim Council of Britain. You get rid of all the so-called councils, Muslim councils, and all that kind of thing across the board. You get rid of it. You either integrate or you leave. That's the message that we should be sending these people. You clamp down on mosques that are extremist in nature, and the government knows who these governments are. They do. They know where they are because they're probably watching them. You close them down and you send a clear message to the people that, if you do this sort of thing in our country, you're gone. You're bye-bye. You're gone. Sort of thing. If you're involved in terrorist activity, then you are deported. Doesn't matter if you've got dual nationality or what, you're gone. Your citizenship is revoked and you're out of the country. We don't want you in this country if that's how you want to behave. It's being tough. It's being tough on people. It's not a matter of fact, oh, we can't do it. What we do is we assign a task force from the British Army. We get, a few thousand troops, and, we escort these people out of the country at gunpoint, if necessary. It's being tough, isn't it? That's what needs to happen, is being tough on these people. Nigel Farage doesn't have the backbone to do it. That's why he says it's a political impossibility. It is a possibility. I showed people earlier in another video on my live stream that Pakistan has done it with Afghan nationals. Over 800,000 are going to be deported. It is a possibility if you've got the willingness to actually do it. And I know people are scared. Paul Thorpe was scared about this in his live stream, about them kicking off. They're going to kick off anyway. It doesn't matter what approach you take. If you ban halal meat, they will kick off. If you ban the burqa, they will kick off. You can use the most peaceful means that you could possibly use, but these people are prone to violence if their beliefs are challenged, and we can't tolerate that. What are we supposed to do? Just pander to them and appease them just because they might turn violent? They have to know that we will do exactly the same. If you threaten our security and you threaten our people because of your beliefs, then we will do exactly the same to you. We will turn violent too. We will arrest you and we will violently deport you out of the country. We're talking about, willingness to do stuff. We retrofit some container ships, stick them on the container ships, ship them off to France, unload them, bye-bye, you're gone. It's willingness to actually do it. You get a couple of transport planes, from the Air Force, and you keep deporting people hourly, daily to get rid of them. It's a willingness to actually do the situation. Yeah, it's going to be logistically hard, but not impossible. It can be done. You start with the illegal immigrant hotels. Deport everybody in the hotels that are here illegally. All of them. Get rid of them. Send a clear message to everybody that, yeah, if you involve yourself in hate marches, you're chanting slogans calling for the genocide of people, you're going to be deported. Just like President Trump is doing in America. We don't tolerate that sort of stuff here. That's the message that should be sent. Integrate or leave. That should be the message. And Rupert Lowe is saying exactly the same thing. All the people involved in the Muslim grooming gang, rape gang situation, deport them all. Families, everything. They all knew about it. They need to go. Deport them. Get rid of them. The people involved in the Bately teacher incident that have basically put that teacher in hiding for the rest of his life. Deport everybody involved in that. Get rid of them. Gone. Send the strong message. We don't tolerate that in this country. It's as simple as that. We need strong leadership. This guy isn't strong leadership. He just isn't. We need somebody like Rupert Lowe or Nick Tenconi in place that is going to implement these things. These are the leaders we need. All those people in Westminster are pointless. They're appeasers. They won't tolerate. They're just useless. Waste of skin, vapid people in Westminster and Parliament. They won't do the job that we need them to do. It's as simple as that. The only person in Parliament that's willing to do what's needed to do is Rupert Lowe at this point. And, at one point it was Andrew Bridgen that was willing to do this as well. It's about being strong and having strength and showing that strength. That's what we need to do. And yeah, they're going to kick off. And that's why we need to, I agree with Richard Inman, we do need to build some kind of home guard force that's tougher than the police, because the police are next to useless in these matters. They're not trained properly, they're poorly trained, and they have no clue. We need to send in a specialist force from the army, train them up to deal with these situations, get them trained up. I'm sure there'll be plenty of volunteers from the working class that would gladly take that role on in getting rid of these people. That's it. That's how you deal with the situation. Might be a bit extreme, might seem a bit strong, a bit harsh. Maybe it's not palatable to the centre-right, but tough. That's what needs to be done. This is the action we need to take in this situation. It really is. I've seen it personally in Iraq. I've seen how these people operate. They will kick off no matter what approach you take. You can be as peaceful as you want to be. They will still kick off when you challenge their beliefs. So, going in, you need to be ready for that and know how to deal with it. It really is. And the best people that know how to deal with that is the people that have dealt with them in their own countries, which would be the army. You put them at the front line of this. You get the veterans from Iraq, Afghanistan, places like that. You put them in charge of these units to deal with it. And you pick strong leaders that are going to carry out your orders and do it. And we simply don't have that in place at the minute, which is why we're in this situation. We have shown absolutely no strength to these Islamists whatsoever. And when I talk about Islamists, I'm talking about the political Islam, the Islam that is trying to drive forward, that's trying to push for more Islamic belief in this country, and basically trying to take over our institutions. We've already seen it with the Islamic Mufti that has taken over the chairmanship of Ofsted, which is the organisation that regulates our schools. Just more appeasement, more diversity, equity and inclusion rubbish that's eroding our society. And it needs to stop. We need to draw a line in it. That's what needs to happen. This guy doesn't have it in him. Richard Tice doesn't have it in him. Lee Anderson doesn't have it in him. Reform Party, not at all. They're not saying the right things. They're weak on everything. And we just need to abandon them now. Get behind something else. I keep saying it, but people just aren't listening. They keep going back to this guy, thinking that he's got all the answers. He's got none of the answers anymore now. He's proven to be weak on absolutely everything that we need people to be strong on. It's as simple as that. This is Vindicator, signing off.